Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. I'm your host, Andrea with W.O.E Podcast. Thank you for tuning in and watching. If this is your first time, welcome. You guys, for that's been joining the challenge. We're on day 5 of walking in wisdom. Thank you, Lord. I'm excited. So for those that are just joining, I recommend you guys to get caught up. Start from chapter 1 in Proverbs to chapter 4, and then hop on from 5 moving on forward. But yes, we're coming out of chapter 5 today. Now, there's a couple chapters in here that's targeting marriages. So married couples, pay attention. So we're reading chapter 5 of the NIV version. I'm going to read here. It says, "My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Listen well to my words of insight, that you may maintain discretion, and your lips may preserve knowledge. For the lips of an adulteress drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil. But in the end she is bitter as gall, sharp as a double-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps lead straight to the grave. She gives no thought to the way of life. Her paths are crooked, but she knows it's not. Now then, my son, listen to me. Do not turn aside from what I say. Keep a path far from her. Do not go near the door of her house, lest you give your best strength to others and your years to the one who is cruel. Let strangers feast on your wealth, and your toil enrich another man's house. At the end of your life you will groan. When your flesh and body are spent, you will say, how I hated discipline, how my heart spurred correction. I will not obey my teachers or listen to my instructors. Okay, I have come to brink of utter ruin in the midst of the whole assembly." Remember I said, so here 13, "Drink water from your own cistern, running water from your own well. Should your spring overflow in the streets, your stream of water in the public squares. Let them be yours alone, never be shared with strangers. May your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth. A lavender, graceful deer, may her breast satisfy you always. May you ever be captive by her love. Why be captivated, my sons, by an adulteress? Why embrace the bosom of another man's wife? For a man's ways are in full view of the Lord, and he examines all his paths. The evil deeds of the wicked man ensnare him. The cords of his sin holds him fast. He will die for lack of discipline, led astray for his own great folly." Thank you, Lord. So that was chapter 5. So here, I remember speaking at the beginning of the book of Proverbs where we're gaining wisdom. Proverbs is a woman. It's crazy because at the beginning it was like it taught you how mother will raise up their children, giving them the knowledge of good and evil and right from wrong and so forth. So it's like, yeah, this woman giving you wisdom on how to be wise. But then on this one, it's talking about now she's a prostitute. Us women, boy, I tell you, and I'm speaking all women. Women in general. Jeez, how in the world? So here we're 5:3. I'm sorry. "For the lips of an adulteress drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil." So that right there, you're speaking about sex. Temptations. First, a prostitute charm is an example of temptation to do wrong, right? You know how we open doors. Oh, how I'm looking at this is particular how women nowadays like to show off stuff. You know, men look. It's tempting, you know? They like to look at those kind of things. So that's how you want to portray yourself? We're not. We're not. But this is where temptation comes in. So 5:15. "Drink water from your own cisterns, running water from your own well." Drink water out of the fountain of your own cistern is a picture of faithfulness in marriage. Okay? So in case you don't know, water is precious. And a well is a family's most important possession. So let's see. his wife. 15 through 21. So let's see. Drink water from your own crystal running water from your own well. Should your spring overflow in the streets, your stream of water in the public squares, let them be yours alone. Never to be shared with strangers. And may your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth. A loving doe, a graceful deer, may her breast satisfy you always. May you ever be captivated by her love. Why be captivated, my son, by an adulteress? Why embrace the bosom of another man's wife? Why would you want to do that? So here God does not intend faithfulness in marriage to be boring, lifeless, pleasure, dull of sex, right? Sex is a gift. So that's why we have men look at the other women. Something's lacking in the marriage. I could, you never know. But this is what this particular talking about, regardless. So if your wife or your spouse not giving you the pleasure, that's what causes people to go out and do whatever they do, right? But this is where wisdom comes in. We have to be wise because we know how the enemy do, right? God tests us, but the devil tempt us, right? That's when all this temptation is going to come in and, people slip. They slipping, they falling, they can't get up, So real happiness comes from married people for their mutual enjoyment. So let me see. When we decide to find pleasure in the relationship God has given or will give us, to commit ourselves, making it pleasurable for our spouse. 5:19. A loving doe, a graceful deer, may her breast satisfy you always. May you ever be captivated by her love. Seeing that Solomon in chapter 4, if you go back, the parallels to this expression is the joy of sexual pleasure only in marriages. Okay? There was that timing. So yeah.